Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today, we are going to present our paper on exploring the sustainability of happiness among lecturers based on Tauhidi integration. Me, Dr. Abdul Rashid bin Abdul Aziz, and my partner, Madam Shahirah binti Sulaiman from University Science Islam Malaysia. Let's continue with Madam Shahirah.
So this is the presentation outline for today, which we are going to introduce you about the happiness and its significance in working life, the concept and the theory of happiness, how do we do the research, the analysis, as well as the discussion. So first of all, happiness is a priceless gratification perceived by any being, including us, human. According to Young 2008, defined happiness as a feeling of satisfaction, fun, and comfortable in every aspect of life, which also includes sustainable and desirable sense of mental health. Meanwhile, according to Minsky et al. In 2005, asserted that happiness is fixed to a certain condition, persistent and unchanged through hedonic adaptation process. This can be said that happiness can be a platform or buffer zone to the stress faced by workers, apart from improving health, age, job performance, social relationships, and generate creative thinking, problem-solving skills, and improve human mental health. This is according to Argal 2004. While in Malaysia, there is not much of integrated study that is conducted to analyze happiness level and contribute to factors of happiness among workers, especially among lecturers, despite of it is in critical phase. This is discovered or written by Noraini and Nurbaya in 2011. So as you can see here, happiness and its significance in working life is because of the challenges happened or that we have to face it. Some of the challenges are stress, anxiety, emotional instability, workplace violence, and job insecurity. Happiness in working life is measured or discovered as the quality of the job satisfaction. So as we talk about the title itself, let's talk about the lecturer's role. Lecturer's role have or based on 7 key concepts, which are, when we translate it in English, it is under mentoring, teaching, supervision, consultation, presentation, research, and publication. It's a very handful responsibilities. On the other hand, according to Islamic perspective, happiness in work, or we consider it is as an ibadah, according to Yusuf al-Qaradawi in 1978, are recognized with Islam, which is based on the laws of Sharia, good intentions for the sake of Allah. It meets the requirement as oneself to doing and improving his work, as well as the person or individual performs his responsibility. By this happiness, it leads to the concept and theory of happiness, which is by Minsky, Sheldon S. Keith in 2005. Their theory is on sustainable happiness model. This theory is basis study pertaining to happiness effect in human. It thus explains on the factor of happiness comprehensively, in which happiness is visualized from various dimensions of life, including personality, work, education, health, social life, and age. However, the activity of daily life can be obtained sustainable happiness by 3 components, which are cognitive, behavioral, and motivation, as well as oriented activities. However, as according to Islamic perspective, because we are Muslims, as we go through back to the previous studies of Islamic scholars as by Al-Ghazali, This is because the word Tawhid is an action of belief in the oneness of Allah. This is according by Nurul Arifah Musa and Said Hazrat Said Omar in 2007. Allah has created all human beings as they are His creation and existence that will be rewarded if they obey and be punished for otherwise for their action. Tawhid's scope would infer on the work ethic of Islam in terms of attitude and life values among lecturers themselves as practices based on the concepts of Iman, Ihsan, and Itqan in Islam. In this figure, it shows the relationship between happiness and mental health in one's work through the integration of Tawhidic. As you can see, these three concepts is overlapping and could create the happiness in work. In this study, it involves 4 research universities in Malaysia as it used stratified sampling involving 645 lecturers. The division of activities measurement is according to components and construct as the figure shown in the screen. The data later has been analyzed by SPSS version using descriptive analysis by describing the distribution of the mean level of lecturers' happiness, while inference analysis of multiple regressions is used to determine the most dominant factors in influencing sustainable happiness.
Okay, now we move to the result and discussions. Okay, from the study, we found that the happiness level among lecturers recorded a high score. If you can see from the graph here, the score is high in the 3.0 score, which is recorded as high. And if you look thoroughly to the score here, about 616 lecturers, or 95.5% of the total study sample, has high score in the level of happiness. This finding is parallel with the study done by Stevenson and Wolfers, which show that the group of people who are in higher education institutions or universities are much happier. In accordance with the position of a lecturer who uses the mind's ability to express ideas and arguments in the process of teaching and learning, and also the development of scientific research, the intentional activities in cognitive component has become a main diviner, or the major point for lecturers' happiness. A total of 4.5%, or approximately 29% of academicians show low levels of happiness. This can be postulated by the fact that there is increased workload of lecturers in research university, which ultimately lead to work stress and burnout. According to Muna and Atasha 2013, if an employee is unhappy, it adversely affects the organization and productivity of the worker. Okay, for the second objective, we want to see the correlation between all factors intentional activity toward happiness. So, based from the finding here, if you can see, the results show that all predictive factors, which is cognitive, motivation, religion, and behavior, show a significant correlation and a strong relationship, except for intentional activity in behavioral component, which demonstrate the medium correlation. Or if you can see, the correlation value is 0.67. The finding is supported by Yubomsky and friends research in 2005, which stated that intentional activity contribute about 40% of individual happiness, and it plays an important role in influencing sustainable happiness. Okay, the third things that we want to see here is which factor intentional activity contributed to happiness. If you can see from the R-square value or regression value here, stated that 82.9% of changes in the happiness variables are caused by the intentional activity in the cognitive component. If you can see here, the cognitive component consists of the optimisms, the avoid the social comparisons, the coping strategies, as well as savoring life joys. These all cognitive components play a major role in determining the happiness among lecturers. And if you can see, the second is the motivation factor, including the gratitude, the forgiveness, and also the aims in life. So the third one is the religion, which contributed to happiness. The religion consists of the Aqidah, the belief, the Sharia, the law, or the guideline of life, and the akhlaq or attitude contribute to the happiness. And from the research, we also can find out that the behavior, intentional activity component recorded a low contribution to the happiness. This percentage continued to rise as predictive factor of intentional activity in motivation and subsequently religion component being added. The R-square indicate that as many as 86% of changes in the happiness variable where it is a combination of three components of intentional activities, which are cognitive component, motivation, and religion. The finding in this study also show that the religion influenced lecturers' happiness, and the religion component also correlated significantly with the happiness. It showed that religion can give psychological and social benefit to humans, that the practice of religion can assist individuals in terms of human psychology, such as creating a meaningful life and fortress of strength to human when facing a big problem in life, and further increase the psychological well-being and happiness of the persons. As a conclusion here, the happiness of lecturers is vital in order to strengthen their role in universities as a driving force that ultimately which contribute to the success of the country workforce. Element of Tawhidic or Islamic perspective should be the main guidance and practice in all Muslim academicians in facing the challenges and fulfilling their responsibility as lecturers in university. This study is accordant with the government desire in the implementation of the National Higher Education Strategic Plan beyond 2020, which lays down the role of higher education institution as a center of knowledge and human development. I think that's all for now. Thank you for your attention.